Peace and Black Power, Black family. It's your brother Chase back at you again with another reactionary video. I know I missed last week. Let me apologize to the family. I had a couple events, a couple things to handle. Shout out to the brothers and sisters who saw me at Invest Fest. It was great to meet you, chop up game with you, X, Y, and Z. But with that being said, man, we got another reactionary video. This time we're going to be breaking down, of course, the usual suspects. Black Brits, this time a Black British woman who's an actor, comedian. I believe her name is London Hughes or something like that. She's actually living in America. And she's going to be talking about the quote unquote diaspora wars and pretty much blaming it on Black Americans. So we're going to break that down. We're going to take our emotions out of it from a non-emotional standpoint so we can get some education out of this, okay? And we can know how to respond to these typical BS talking points. Let me apologize in advance as well. For I might curse sometimes. I know some people be watching me with their kids, X, Y, and Z. I apologize to the babies in advance if I might curse. Sometimes I tend to get a little emotional, but I'm working on that. I'm working on that, family. But with that being said, like the video, subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into the video.
The reason why there's always Black diaspora wars on TikTok, and when I say Black diaspora, I mean Black Americans versus insert country in the Black diaspora here, because that's what it always is. Like last week, it was Black Americans versus Africans in America. They had beef with Africans in America 2 weeks ago.
We don't have no beef with nobody, family. These folks have a gripe with us. They have a bone to pick with us, family. Let's be clear. Let's frame the narrative properly. We don't beef with them. We can't beef with people we don't think about. You dig? We don't wake up thinking about Black Brits. We don't wake up thinking about Jamaicans. We don't wake up thinking about folks in the Caribbean or Africans. They wake up thinking about us, emulating us. They always have our name in their mouth. Let's set the record straight, but let's continue.
We're going to do a boycott. Before that, it was Black Americans versus Black Brits, and now it's Black Americans versus South Africans. But the common denominator is Black Americans, and people are getting mad at Black Americans, and I don't believe it's their fault. The ones that know and understand don't need to listen to this. But if you're confused as to why it seems that the diaspora is coming for you, I'm going to break down why it is that way, okay?
Brace yourself, family. Put on your seatbelt. You know we about to go on this roller coaster. You dig? Put on your seat belt, family.
So basically, America has taught Americans to believe that America is the center of the world, and that is a fact. I live in America. I cannot tell you what's going on. Every time my mom calls me, she's like, wasn't it on the news? Wasn't it? What? Don't you know what's going on in England? Wasn't it on the news? I'm like, no, mom, because America does not show me English news. America don't care about English news. America don't even care about American news. America just shows me what's going on in LA. Literally, I don't even know what's going on in Texas or other states. Like, America is too big. They care about themselves.
All right, let's address this, family. Number one, well, a few things. Number one, you are a Black British woman who was born and raised in Britain, who has recently moved to the United States. Okay, you don't know anything about how Black Americans grew up. You didn't grow up here. You weren't even raised here. That's number one. These folks kill me talking about America has taught us. America teaches you. America does this. America does that. Ma'am, you're not from America. You weren't raised in America. You're Johnny come lately. You dig? See, these folks sit overseas and they think because they saw something on TikTok, they think because they saw something on Instagram. I grew up watching Living Colors. I grew up watching Fresh Prince. They think they know something about what we're taught and how we're raised. They get their interactions with us through social media, and then they try to speak on us as if they're some type of experts, family. That's number one. You're in no position to tell us how we were raised. You dig? None. Number two, it is not Black Americans' job, nor is it America's job to educate you on what's going on in your land. Last time I checked, this ain't Britain. You dig? She's talking about her. My mother called me. My mother called me. Do you know what's going on in Britain? No, ma'am. You're living in California. Why would we be talking about what's going on in Britain, in California? They love trying to shame us. Oh, You're so self-centered. Ma'am, we're living in America, okay? A lot of these other cultures, they have this weird thing where they're living in Scotland, they're living in the UK, they're living in Nigeria, but their primary focus is on America all damn day. They're sitting up there soaking up America all day. We don't do that over here. We have too many issues. We got too much motion going on state by state, nationwide, let alone trying to worry about what's going on in dry and boring Britain that you fled from. But here's the thing, ma'am. Let me put you on a little game. If you want to know what's going on in Britain, watch the BBC. Follow Black British content creators. Immerse yourself. We live in the internet era. You can find out what's going on in Britain. You dig? Look on the internet. Subscribe to The Guardian or whatever the other news channels and news outlets y'all have. It is not our job to educate you on what's going on in your land. Because like I said before, they have this weird obsession with us, and they think because they've been so obsessed with us for decades that we're supposed to be obsessed with them. And then when we're not obsessed with them, when we don't sit over here and talk about Black Brits, we don't sit over here and talk about Africans, we don't sit over here and talk about Caribbeans all damn day and what's going on in Tanzania or Kenya or whatever other random African country, then they sit up here and act like it's something wrong with us. Oh, you have main character syndrome. No, ma'am. We have our own issues. We're living within the culture we created. We're not being weird. We're concerned about what's going on in our house. And there's nothing wrong with that, family. I want y'all to understand there's nothing wrong with putting ourselves first and being concerned with your native brothers and sisters, being concerned with what's going on locally, then statewide, then national. Okay? Stop letting these folks shame you into thinking, oh, you have to be knowing what's going on around the world. No, you don't. You dig? When your house is in shambles, when you're trying to get things done in your house, which foundational Black Americans are trying to do, it is your priority, it is your duty to focus on your house and not what's going on in Britain. You dig? But let's continue.
I have a joke where I say, America is the Florida of the world. Americans will get this. That's how, you see how Americans think Florida is? That's how the world thinks America is. And so essentially, we look at America, the rest of the world looks at America and they think that America is stupid because America acts like America is the be all and end all, but the rest of the world know that it isn't. And so by default, Black Americans may think that way. Not only
Lord, let's break this down, family. Number one, I had to even look up, what does America think about Florida? What was that supposed to mean? America's the Florida of the rest of the world. Foundational Black American family. Again, this woman is British. Okay, she's a Black Brit who was born in Britain, raised in Britain. Now she's trying to talk about how Americans view Florida. Put in the comment section, how do we as foundational Black Americans or Americans view Florida? How do we view Florida? Now, what she's trying to refer to, and I had to look it up, family. There was a meme going around, this shit was damn near a decade ago, where people were talking about all the crazy reports, police reports going on in Florida, like a man humping a tree, X, Y, and Z. So they had a Florida meme, like, hey, man, Florida be in its own little world. You dig? So, of course, them overseas, because they're always in our business, they're always just searching for any little thing Americans are talking about. So now they sat over there and said, hey, Americans must look at Florida a certain way. Americans must think Floridas are stupid. Floridians are stupid. No, we don't. That was a meme. That was something that was trendy at the time. When we think about Florida, family, let's be clear. We think about the Sunshine State. Most people, when they think about Florida, think about vacation. We think about beautiful women, beautiful beaches. You dig? And a good time. Most people are going to Florida who are not from Florida for vacation. You dig? I don't know what these folks be talking about overseas. They actually think these memes that they see on Instagram are reality. They actually think that. So she saw a meme on Instagram and start, oh, this is what Americans think about people from Florida. No, we don't. No, we don't. We love our brothers and sisters in Florida. Florida has a very unique culture. And when we go to Florida, we're going there on vacation and to have a good damn time. We don't be sitting over here talking about them people from Florida dumb. No. And it's interesting that you took a meme, you took that concept and said, well, America's the Florida of the world, and people look at America as dumb. But you fled over here to America. You fled over here to America. Why are people fleeing to the land of dummies? That never makes sense to me. You're so smart. You're so educated. You're so from the UK. The UK is just so much better, but you flee over here with the dumb Americans. You dig? Because the reality is your dumb ass couldn't figure out how to pop off in the UK. So you said, listen, let me go over to America. Let me get around some foundational Black Americans. You dig? Let me infiltrate the spaces that they have already opened up and made available to me. And let me get my career popping over here, family. Over here. Let me play a little video as a side note. This is her talking about all the things that she and other Black Brits have to do to make it in America, just to get to America. Because she's an actor. She's fancies herself a comedian. Let's look at this.
Actors to make it in America. I think people think it's easy for Black British actors to make it in America. It's not. It's very, very hard. So I thought I'd explain to you what you have to go through as a Black Brit to even make it in America, just to even audition. So
peep this, family, peep this.
First of all, in order to audition for a role, you either need a visa or a green card. And the visa you can get as a Black British actor is an O1 visa. And it basically means an alien of extraordinary talent visa. And to get that visa, you have to prove that you're better than your job than an American. And what do you have to do to prove this? You need receipts. So you need to pay like $5,000. Then
they over there paying $5,000 just to get to America, but we're the dummies. We're so stupid. They came over here to be with the stupid people. Okay? The world looks at America as dumb. We look at you as dumb. We look at you as dumb. Why are you coming over here then? Why are you coming over here? But let's continue. It gets worse.
Then you have to have 6 or 7 letters from people in your field. And in those letters, those people are explaining why you would be an asset to the American entertainment industry. On top of that, you need about 6 years of press, like just all this documentation of press in your country to prove that, you know, you're really that girl and or that guy in the UK. The letters was the hardest part because you can get these letters and they still not accept you. I was lucky. The people that signed my letters were Daniel Kaluuya. He's a good friend of mine. Phoebe Waller-Bridge, who just won 6 Emmys for Fleabag. And Sir Lenny Henry, who's a famous comedian in the UK and a Sir. I also had the head of TV networks in the UK. And they all wrote these letters and they all signed them.
And as a side note, family, peep how a lot of these Black Brits get over here and then they form their own little groups and connections and they bring other Black Brits. Okay, because they sit over here and tell the lie, we all Black. You dig? But as soon as they get over here, they start trying to bring over more and more of their people. That's very interesting. But go ahead.
And that, with my money and my 6 years of press clippings, TV appearances, magazine articles, everything, all of that, sent all that off to the American embassy. And that's just to apply. They still may turn you down. I had a friend who had a signed letter from Mindy Kaling herself to say she'd be an asset to the American industry, and America still rejected her visa. Another way you can work in America is if you have a green card. You get a green card by literally marrying an American.
Boy, we got to do a whole video on the marriage scams, okay? They're doing all this. Remember, everybody looks at America as the dummy. And in proxy, they look at Black Americans as dumb too. But they're doing all this to get over here. This is Black Brits. We know how the Africans and the Caribbeans roll. This is Black Brits. They're over there marrying. They're over here negotiating contracts for marriage just to become an American. We're the dummies, though. You want to get with the dummies so bad. Okay.
Friends that have done that too. I have friends that have married gay Americans just so that they could legally be in this country. It's a lot. So that's just an audition. So once you've got that,
all this just for an audition.
Once they say America says, yeah, you can come and audition, you now have to fly to LA or New York or Atlanta and audition for the role. And let's be clear, the role is American. So as a British person, you need to have an American accent down.
Cosplay. Here comes the cosplaying. This is her doing all this. Why are y'all cosplaying dummies? We're the Florida of the world. Why are you cosplaying dummies? I don't cosplay people who are dumb. You dig? I don't want to be like somebody who's dumb. I try to stay far away from people who are dumb, family. What about y'all? Put in the comment section below. Do y'all go around dumb people? Do you want to be with around dumb people? I don't want to be around a crash out, a nigga who just, they look up and they got a gun with them all the time, and they just looking to start stuff where they're dumb. They might do something stupid. I'm not looking to be around those people. And I damn sure are not going to try to act like and emulate them. You got to have that Black American accent down pat, because that's what she's saying, the Black American accent. Okay, let's continue. This is very interesting.
A lot of my Black British friends walk into audition rooms with the American accent. They don't even have a British accent. They don't even say hello in their natural accent. They're just straight, yo, my name's Darian. They come in straight with the American accent because they just don't want to slip out of character. And then, yeah, you're auditioning. You might not even get it. So you're in America and people are living in their cars. People are like, you can't make any money. You can't do anything. You're just waiting for that big break. And that's what Idris Elba had to do. Idris Elba had to live in his car. That's what I did. I mean, I didn't live in my car, but when I first came to LA, I lived in my manager's mother-in-law's spare room. And I was going to meetings and staying in a spare room in a bungalow in Burbank.
To be around dummies. Just to be around the dummies. They doing all this to be around the dummies.
And then I lived in the CEO of the former head of HBO's pool house.
Oh, Lord. And it ain't no telling what he had her ass doing. Boy, we know how they operate in Hollywood, family. And this is why a lot of these folks be sitting over here getting these roles from Britain. Okay, I've been hearing rumors, and I'm not going to do an episode on it until, it becomes official, if it becomes official. But they got Cynthia Erivo. The rumor is they got her out here playing Shaka Khan in a new biopic. Okay, this is how they be getting these roles. Boy, they be sitting up in these old white execs pool house. And I'm not saying that she's doing anything, but that's very interesting that he's letting a random Black woman from Britain. She's staying over here. She's staying in the pool house. Lord, what else are y'all doing to get put on? This is how some of them get put on to these positions, family. They're so much more talented. Okay. They're over here doing God knows what. Okay. Allegedly. I'm just giving food for thought.
Like I was out here. I was really doing it. And all of that just to audition, just to be part of the conversation.
Just to be a part of the dummies.
It's a lot. And you need to understand that Black British actors in the UK, they're not already successful in the UK. They're not getting opportunities in the UK. It's like Black people make up 3% of the UK and 1% of television.
So you're so much smarter than us. Y'all are so... Because she's going to go on in the other video talking about how they're so unified. All this unity, all this smartness. Remember, Black Brits say they know where they're from. They're not lazy. You dig? They know geography. Yet you can't get it popping in the UK? Okay. You got to run to the land of dummies where the dumb Black Americans are in order to get put on. You got to play us. Interesting.
So if you're a Black British actor and you've made it onto TV in the UK, you're exceptional, because to get that part, you would have had to take it from a white person, because white people don't even write roles for Black people with Black people in mind. So yeah, it's a lot of hard work just to get here and be part of the conversation. It's not easy. And so, yeah, I just thought I'd just show you really what it's all about, so that we can have more less divisiveness and more peace around Black British actors starring in roles in America. It's not easy.
All right, and this is why they love getting these Black British actors. They come over here, they're doing all these things, and God knows telling what else to get over here. They're selling their soul to get over here with the dummies. Then they get over here and start talking about Black Americans are dumb and Black Americans are this and America's this and America's that. Okay. Very interesting. But let's get back to the other videos.
That Black Americans are aware that their Black American culture has been exported all over the world and is aware that the whole world has their eyes on them.
That's
and
a fact.
again, if you're in a country and you're aware that the whole world has their eyes on you, but you aren't aware of any of them, you're going to believe subconsciously or consciously that it's because you are the best or you are better. And it's not necessarily true. It's actually because you're the most popular. So like America is like, you know, the kid in school, yeah, there's a kid in school and he's popular, but he thinks he's popular because he's good at maths or he's good at science or he can do cartwheels or he's really funny or he can burp the alphabet. He thinks he's popular for that, but he's actually popular because he's the only kid in school with a pool and everybody wants to use his pool.
Lord.
That's what America is. Like, Black Americans think that, not all of them, some of them on this app think that they're the best at what they do. And it's not to say...
Hold on. Let's break that analogy down. Because the hate starts to ooze slowly out. Again, number one, you cannot tell foundational Black Americans what they believe or how they think. You are neither a foundational Black American. You were not even born here. You were not even raised here. Ma'am, you are British. Number two, this whole thing of y'all think y'all better, that is nothing more but a projection of your insecurities. Okay? Y'all think we're better than you. And why do you think that? Because in your situation, you have to come over here as a Black Brit and you have to play us. See, playing you is not good enough. Playing you is irrelevant. Playing you, there's not a market for that. There's not a Black Brit. Ain't nobody running around here trying to see Black British culture. People don't even know what that is. But playing us, foundational Black Americans, means something. Playing us, you become a millionaire. Playing us, you become global. Emulating our style, our lingo, our fashion. And that's why your ass is so insecure. Excuse my language, family. That's why they're insecure. So what they do, because they think, hey, man, I'm really better than them. I can play them better than they can play them. They project that insecurity onto us. And then they start running around talking about, we think we're better. We don't even think about you. In order to think we're better than you, man, we have to think about you. We don't even think about you. I have never grown up in my household from a time I was a little kid to the time I am now at 30 years old, not with my parents, not with my cousins, not with my family and friends, would we ever set up in the barbershop, at the lunch counter, a dinner, at a restaurant, in the kitchen, at a family reunion and talked about Black Brits. Never. We don't even think about y'all. We don't compare. You're not a comparison. You're not a comparison. But see, it's the opposite where you're from. Y'all been sitting up for decades thinking, watching, and talking about Black Americans and what we got going on. In hating, jealousy, envy, just fuming at the mouth. You dig? So that insecure, that deep-seated insecurity about how we're always in the limelight, it gets to y'all. So you start projecting your insecurities onto us because you deep down inside think you're better. So you say, hey, man, they must think they're better than me. No, we don't think about you. We're not weirdos like many of y'all are. Y'all are weirdos. Y'all sit over there all damn day watching us, emulating us, talking like us, talking about how we ain't shit. We don't know where we're from. We're dumb. And then you hop your ass across the pond and play us. And boy, that really bites y'all in the ass. Boy, that really makes y'all insecure. Number three, you made this weird school comparison. You're the popular kid in school who's only popular because they have a pool. No, ma'am. No, ma'am. We're that popular kid in school because everybody sees what we became despite of. Let me say that again. Everybody in the whole world, not just the Black diaspora, sees what Black Americans became despite of. We're that kid that you went to school with. You grew up with him. You've been going to school with him, elementary school, middle school, high school. And you remember in elementary school, you remember in pre-K when he lost his mother. You remember in kindergarten when he lost his father. They were stripped of him. He was stripped of his parents. You remember when he went to a foster home and he was raised in the projects. And he came in school with scars, with bruises, with bumps. You came in school hungry, didn't have nothing to eat. You did? But despite all of that, he survived. Despite growing up in the belly of the beast of white supremacy, where all of y'all blame your problems. You all blame America. It's the CIA. You're always blaming us. That kid grew up in the belly of it. He didn't have no escape. It was just him. It was just FBA, 13% of the population. It was just us. But despite that, he made it to middle school. And when he made it to middle school, he had a little something about himself. You dig? He started to educate himself a little bit more. But the kid still couldn't read. We still couldn't read because why? In the foster home he grew up in, it was illegal to read. He could get harmed. He could get beat if he was caught with a book. Let me translate that. On that slave plantation, we could get whipped if we were caught reading. We can get killed. We can get lynched. But despite of, enough of them made it through. Despite of, he read books in his off time. Despite of, he still prioritized education. He was able to make it to high school. And in high school, you saw that young kid. He was reading now, making it out of slavery. We were reading now. We were forming historically Black colleges across the country. Education systems, even making the way in places like the South for the public school system because of the freedom schools we created. We cut our literacy rate in half in a span of 2 or 3 decades after slavery. You see him, the way he's dressing, the way he's talking. You see the culture that he's creating from scratch because he was robbed of his mother and father, giving him that culture. So he's creating this culture from scratch. You see foundational Black Americans creating things like the blues, the jazz, you dig? R&B. You see them having this soul. You see the people hating on him and he's still going to bat. He's still fighting. They're excluding him from certain circles and he's building his own circles. So much so that they get jealous of that. See, they were kicking us out the towns, the white parts of towns. We said, okay, we'll create a Tulsa, Oklahoma. We'll create a Black Wall Street. We'll create a Rosewood. We'll create a Jackson Ward. We'll create an Auburn Avenue. We'll go out. Even when you put me in the worst part of the classroom, you give me the worst textbooks. We created a Blackdom, New Mexico. Okay? We got the worst resources. Didn't have a real environment to go home to. You've seen foundational Black Americans, though, taking swampland, like in Mound Bayou, Mississippi, draining that swamp and creating what President Roosevelt called the jewel of the Delta. Mound Bayou, a sanctuary for Black folks in the belly of the beast, in the heart of white supremacy in the Mississippi Delta. So we seen that kid, despite of getting picked on, despite of getting bullied, he still rose up to the top and created this culture that we love. Despite of the obstacles that were thrown against him, you had him inventing and innovating. When white supremacists said, hey man, you can't go in this hospital. Well, fuck you. I'm going to build my own hospital. Shout out to Daniel Hale Williams. Created Providence Hospital, one of the first hospitals in Chicago. That same Daniel Hale Williams, when Black folks couldn't get health care, couldn't get treatment. This was the man who pioneered and created the first open heart surgery. You got brothers like Charles Drew, created the blood transfusion. You got sisters like Maria Van Brown, when security was a concern in our neighborhood, who created the home security system. You got brothers like George Speck, created the potato chip. We that kid in school who got it out the mud. And now, by the time he gets a senior, by the time he gets in college, you see what that kid has become now. You see all he has accomplished. And everybody in the world takes inspiration because they say, hey, he really got it out the mud. And now he got that house on the hill with that beautiful pool. And then there's you, the hating niggas, sitting on the side when you know our story, hating. Well, he got a pool. The white man gave him that pool, though. White man ain't gave us nothing. He ain't gave us nothing. You dig? And the reason you hate even more is because even though we got that house on the hill, even though we got that Olympic-sized swimming pool now, we still will come off that house on the hill. We still will jump out that pool and stand on business and crash out about our people. And we still fighting to this day because enough of our people don't have them houses on the hill. That's why we're the most popular kid in school. That's why we're the most popular group of Black people around the world. That's why people emulate us and want to be us. It's impossible to really hate on us. You have to make up a lie. You have to live in fantasy land. You have to live in delusion because we got it out the mud. Hell is you mad about us for? Some of y'all descendants of the people who sold us out. We don't only go against white supremacy. We have to go against our own people who continue to push white supremacist tropes on us. But despite of, we got that pool. Despite of being robbed of our heritage, our lineage, our Fort Wayne having to create and have an ethnogenesis, create a new culture from scratch, we still achieved it all. And we're still fighting for more. We're not satisfied. This is why we're the most popular people in the world. And in that analogy gave, this is why we're the most popular kid in school. Because America didn't make us. We made America. So let me continue.
At what they do. And it's not to say Black Americans aren't exceptional, because they are. They're just not more exceptional than the rest of the Black diaspora. The thing is, they are being exceptional in a country that has the world's eyes on it. And the reason why America has the world's eyes on it is because all the money and power from slavery went to America. And Americans are living in America. You literally live, Black Americans live in a country that has been propped up the most by slavery. But let's be clear, the difference between America and like Jamaica and all the other countries is because all the money from Caribbean slavery didn't go to the Caribbean. If the money from Caribbean slavery went to the Caribbean and the Caribbean was propped up like America, then all eyes would be on the Caribbean as well.
Lord. So let me get this straight, family. The reason why America has the influence it has is because of the money generated from slavery. But that money actually stayed in America. And the reason why the Caribbean or Central and South America, wherever Black folks were enslaved across the Americas, don't have that same level of influence is because that money actually went to Europe or elsewhere. She's actually correct. She's actually correct. See, what she's saying is correct, but the context in which she's thinking about it is wrong. But it actually shows, and it is a microcosm of the difference between foundational Black Americans and the diaspora. See, we understand what you said. We are the influence of America. When you talk about it's because of the money generated from slavery, we are the money. You see, foundational Black Americans, we understand we are that money. We are the people who built America. We are why America has influence. But I'm going to let you in on a little secret because I want to see brothers and sisters really around the world win. You are the money of the Caribbean. But like you said, that money went to Europe. See, your brightest, your best, you flee. The people who actually have a means to actually make change in your country, they flee and go to Europe. Okay? They flee and go to Sweden, go to Germany. You go to all these other places. Y'all be in the damn Ukraine. Y'all be in Scotland. Y'all be everywhere else. You have a fleeing mentality. So you're right. Your money did leave. Your money did go to Europe. Your brightest minds, your scholars, your historians, your economists, your inventors, y'all flee. We don't. That's why that money stayed. Because see, right after enslavement, when Abraham Lincoln became as our great ancestor Frederick Douglass once said, a colonization preacher, and he was trying to pack up and send foundational Black Americans to colonies in South America, trying to send us to Haiti, X, Y, and Z. We said, hell no. You dig? Frederick Douglass said this man is a colonization preacher trying to tell foundational Black Americans to flee the country that they actually built. No. Yeah, the money did stay in America. We are the money. And that's why America has the influence, as you said. You have no influence because you flee. See, your best and brightest ran. They went to other places around the world to make those places profitable, to make those places modern, to give them their wealth. Even you, ma'am, look at you. You are a phenomenal Black British actor, according to you. You are a comedian. You ain't living in Africa. You folks are EBAs, y'all everywhere but Africa. We're FBAs, we're foundational Black Americans. We're foundational to the country we built. Y'all are EBAs. You're everywhere but Africa. You love Africa so much, but you're everywhere but there. So yes, ma'am, you are correct. But I want you to do a deep analysis and listen to what you're actually saying and really break it down. You are the money. Why the hell are you in Europe? Go back and build your homeland like we did. We made sure that wealth, the money, it stayed in the country that we built. That's the difference between us and you. And this is why we say in America, all skin folk ain't kinfolk. When we say that, we're saying, hey, man, y'all might have the same skin complexion, but your mentality is different. You don't even know you the money. We know we're the money. And we know that money that we created, we're going to make sure it circulate right here in America. And we're going to make sure it reaches the hands of foundational Black Americans. And that is exactly why we're delineating. But let's continue.
From African colonization went to Africa instead of Europe, and Africa was propped up by colonization and slavery, just like America is, the whole world's eyes would be on Africa. But because the only country that has a predominantly like big Black community in it that has been propped up the most by slavery and had the money actually returned back to the country is America, that is why America is a superpower it is.
Right, because of foundational Black Americans did not flee. We stayed there and continued to build and continue to create the culture that y'all now credit with being American culture. Create the economy that y'all now credit with just being an American economy. Create the holidays, customs, and traditions that you now credit with just being American holidays, customs, and traditions. We are different. And see, the thing is, even those of you who stayed in the Caribbean, even those of you who stay in Africa, you're mentally checked out. You mentally fled as well. We talk about the physical fleers, but what about the mental fleers? See, the mental fleers are y'all sitting over there in Britain, and instead of figuring out how we can come together and help to build our homelands that you're always repping and claiming, how can we build Jamaica? How can we build Tanzania? How can we build Kenya, Ghana, Nigeria? You're sitting over there mentally in America. You're mentally fled. You're worried about us. You hating on us from overseas. You hating on us from down the street all the way outside the club. You mentally fled. That's why your homelands are in the condition they're in, because of the physical fleers and the mental fleers. The ones who took and actually had talent, who said, I'm going to get the hell out of here and never look back. And the ones who are mentally over there now who do have talent, but they're so busy with their heads up our asses as foundational Black Americans, hating on us and pocket watching us. That's why your country's in the condition it's in. And that's why we're different from y'all. We don't have a fleeing culture. We look down on fleers.
America is a superpower it is. But that doesn't mean that Black Americans are somehow more exceptional than Black people from other countries. Unfortunately, the money from Caribbean slavery went to Europe, and the money from the colonization of Africa went to Europe.
All of y'all fled to Europe, right? Just like you are a descendant of. You're a descendant of fleers. You were born and raised in Britain. You know, all that money that your family could have generated for your homeland, you fled to Europe. Okay.
And Europe is a supercontinent, but it's a predominantly white continent. So the black people in those countries in Europe really can't, they don't have a leg to stand on. They're immigrants. But in America, just like in Jamaica, the black people that were born in America like did great things.
We didn't flee.
And
right.
set standards and broke down walls and barriers, and they should be celebrated for that. And I feel like the world does celebrate Black Americans for that. But don't think that Black Americans are somehow better than the rest of the diaspora.
And again, this is a projection. This is how they really feel. They really feel like they're better than us. So they project that insecurity onto us. We've already, discussed that.
Because no one's better than anyone. None of us. No one in the diaspora thinks that. I mean, maybe people like jokingly thinking, but
she had to catch herself. She had to catch herself because they know they think they're better than us. They know that, family. They know they think they're better than us. You dig? She can't even keep a straight face. She's like, let me stop capping. Yeah, because we got dozens of videos where y'all are calling us everything but the child of God. We're dumb. We're stupid. We're lazy. X, Y, and Z. You always come over here, even Black immigrants in America. What do they always say? They come over here and do better. Okay, so yeah, let's stop the cap. Let's stop the cap.
No, like most of the diaspora understand that we're all interlinked. So no one can really be better than anyone because we're all mixed. We're all essentially African and we're all essentially Caribbean. We're just a melting pot. But America seems to other itself sometimes.
What? This is why Pan-Africanism is becoming dead to a lot of people. They're not even honest. We're all linked, really. We in the diaspora, y'all all see yourselves as one. Are you crazy? Ma'am, y'all got 3,000 damn tribes on the continent of Africa alone. Huh? Do these folks think we're stupid? Boy, y'all got a long history. Millions of lives have been lost over your little tribal beefs and wars on the continent. Does this woman not think we don't know about the Somali War of 1991? Or the Nigerian Civil War of 1967? Or the Hutu-Tutsi genocide of 1994? Where you had the Hutu damn near wipe out 800,000 Tutsis in a matter of 3 months. Wiped out damn near 15% of the Rwandan population off y'all little tribal beefs. You all see each other as one. Dude, y'all have shed lives behind your little tribal beefs. This is the stuff that gets me upset. Let me calm down emotionally. I hate when they sit over here and try to make us the face of division. And they done chopped up damn near everybody in their village. Because they from a different ethnic group. They're from a different tribe. And remember, the Rwandan genocide, the Hutu-Tutsi genocide, led to the Second Congo War. In the Second Congo War, boy, they lost it was millions of people killed. Remember, it was those Tutsi refugees fleeing into the Congo. They went over there and they started creating tribal tension between the tribes. They started fighting over resources over there. That led to the Second Congo War. The Second Congo War is considered the World War of Africa. You dig? What was it like 25 countries involved? Dude, millions of people. I believe the last estimate was 5 million people killed. People still warring in the Congo now. They still warring in the Congo now for the resources. Miss me with that. We're the face of in America. Y'all seem to think different. What? Man, we are the only, let's be clear, foundational Black Americans. We are the last group in the diaspora, Black people in the diaspora, to delineate. We were the only group in the world who made our race and ethnicity one and the same. We used to just say we're Black. We used to say we're Negro. That's it. We didn't put all that tribalism on it, but then we say, man, we got to delineate because these people come over here, they have a different mentality. And again, we got to go back to our old tradition that all skin folk ain't kinfolk. You dig? This whole thing, they love to make us the face of division. They want to act like they won Africa. Damn, you're the reason why you were probably born and raised in Britain is because of the tribal tension back home. Y'all are the kings and queens of seeking asylum because somebody trying to chop y'all up in y'all damn homeland. That's what y'all love coming to the border talking about some asylum. Those niggas are crazy. It's the government. They are corrupt. Y'all don't get along to save y'all lives, family. Remember, y'all over there, hold on. Y'all over there in Ghana now. Ghanaians are trying to kick Nigerians out now. Hold on, family. This was like earlier this month.
It's not for any foreigner. No Igbo. So we want Nigerians to go back to their country.
We want Nigerians to go back to their country. This is y'all now. This is like from earlier this month, family.
Ghana is for us. Ghana is not for any foreigner. No Igbo man can come to this country and intimidate us. This country belongs to us. President Mahama, you came for Ghanaians. You said Ghana first. You said you came for the youth. Please take action now. Thank you.
Take action. Get these damn Nigerians out of Ghana. Boy. They over there protesting now.
I don't know. Unite me. We can't be dealing with the legal criminals that we are having in Ghana and be dealing with Nigerians to grow. So
these Nigerians need to go. This is Ghanaians. This is over there now, family. This ain't old footage. This ain't from 10 years ago. This is like earlier this month. They damn near they trying to kick the Nigerians out. They say the Nigerians are doing something over there. I don't even know. I don't really pay attention to what they're doing, but I found this interesting. Came across my damn timeline. You dig? I said, now let me save this video. Now let's be clear. If Black Americans, the foundation of Black Americans, if we were over here talking about Nigerians must go and Africans must go, I've even seen videos over there of them tearing down Nigerian businesses. If we were over here doing that, the whole diaspora, they wouldn't make 500,000 videos about it. Oh, you are the white people of the diaspora. You niggas are CIA. Oh, they would call us everything but a child of God. But see, when they do it, it's just normal. It's just normal way of life in Africa. They're always beefing with each other. But no, let this British Negro tell it. They're all one. And it's us who are being divisive. She ain't made a video about this. Let me know, family. Check her page. Her page is London Hughes. Let's see if she's made a video about what's going on in Ghana. Huh? We're the face of division? No. I refuse to let you dump that trash on us. Y'all are the kings and queens of division. Y'all got 3,000 damn tribes. Y'all look identical. Some of y'all look identical. Be talking about that man is from a different tribe. Hell, the Hutus and Tutsis look identical. Chopping each other up about tribal differences. If you don't miss us with that, Lord. But let's continue.
We kind of know that the main bitch, the main person in charge of everything is Africa, because that's where we're all from. We've all, whether you're Black British, Black German, Caribbean, African, we all understand that. So we just assume that America understood that too.
No, man. We don't. I hate, this is why you need to ask. I hate that you assume that we don't understand that Africa is in charge. What the hell are you talking about? A damn landmass being in charge of a group of people. You see the mentality, family? You see why we had to delineate? And by the way, family, they don't even believe that. They don't believe Africa's in charge. Hell, Africa can't control its own damn resources. How the hell is Africa going to be in charge? Huh? How the hell is Africa going to be in charge? Ma'am, did Mama Africa, since Africa's in charge, did Mama Africa tell you to flee from the UK to America? Or did it say come back to Africa? Africa ain't never in charge when it's time for them to leave, when the EBAs leave, okay? They everywhere but Africa. They're EBAs everywhere but Africa. Africa ain't never in charge when it's time for them to go back home and build their homeland. But then when it comes to us, well, we just assumed that you thought like we do that Africa's in charge. Ma'am, stop the cap. Y'all don't even believe that. But see, what this is really about and what this is really exposing, they want, when they say Africa's in charge, understand, number one, they want to pull rank. And that's always been their dream and their aspiration. See, they never could really pull rank with foundational Black Americans because we don't need them for money. We don't need them for military support. What do we need them for? Okay, they're not offering us really anything. So the whole thing is they want to have something they can hold over their head. And they want to say, well, Africa's in charge and I'm the real African. See, you haven't been in Africa in hundreds of years. I'm the real African and Africa is in charge. Okay, so therefore that means I'm in charge. Number two, they look at Africa, some of these Pan-Africanists, they look at Africa, or they try to push Africa on us as if it's a religion where we have to give all of our glory and all of our good deeds to Africa. You know, similar how when people do something, they say, man, I give all glory to God. They want us to say, we give all glory to Africa. Everything positive, that is, because when it's something negative, they immediately delineate us. They immediately say, you're not African, you're this. You're Akata. They make up all of these damn nicknames for us. They immediately differentiate us and them when it's something negative. But however, when it's something positive, when it's our culture, our achievements, our inventions, X, Y, and Z, well, all of that gets accredited to Africa. So Africa ain't in charge. Foundational Black Americans are in charge of foundational Black Americans, okay? Ain't nobody running us.
And what we're finding out through TikTok and through things like this is that some people in America do not believe that their blackness is linked to Africa. And then there's also pushback because, you know, they know that America might have shown Black Americans in not a positive light, and there's a need.
Look at her expressions, fam. She's just literal. She's going off. She's freestyling. Lord, she's freestyling. She's just freestyling, family. Lord.
Need to hold on to the culture. There's a need to preserve their culture, etc. But all these things are valid. But on top of it, we just think we're all one.
Stop it. No, you don't. No, you don't. And I've always broke that down. But this is, again, this disingenuous arguments. You're just lying. You know that's not true. Black Brits know that's not true. But this is your Pan-Africanism. We're just going to lie and be disingenuous. Okay, say anything for Black Americans to get back on board. Lord.
Someone asked me on this app, why is it that, like, Black Brits can feel the need to play our American heroes? Like, why don't they feel shame in playing our American heroes? And I'm like, because you think your American heroes are just yours. They're not. They're also ours. Like, my heroes were Martin Luther King growing up too. So it's like, yes, they are Black American people, but they're Black people first. And so Black Brits are also Black people first. So, like, it doesn't matter. You're Black. So they're not gonna. I see myself in Black Americans because you're Black and I'm Black.
Oh, Lord, family. I tell people all the time, one of the greatest mistakes our ancestors made, and I say this respectfully, that we're now correcting as foundational Black Americans, is this whole Pan-African, we all one, ain't no different but what a slave ship dropped us off at concept. This flat blackness that we have allowed to be placed specifically on foundational Black Americans, because it's never placed on anybody else. Every other group is allowed to delineate. Every other group is allowed to take pride in their ethnic or lineage heritage, okay? Except foundational Black Americans. And it has bred, that Pan-Africanism, it has bred, and that's why I had to get off of it. It has bred a sense of entitlement to whatever foundational Black Americans do, achieve, that is deemed as positive. It automatically goes to the diaspora. They automatically are entitled to it, even though it's not from them. Okay? And what makes it triggering for a lot of foundational Black Americans, what makes it disgusting for us, because she comes from a culture of this, a culture of Black Brits who literally sit online and make niche content, demonizing antagonizing and gaslighting Black Americans. However, turn around, come here and want to play us. They sit here and play these Black American roles in films or audition for them, and sometimes get them while having this hatred and disdain and misrepresenting foundational Black Americans every time you turn around and look up. But that's okay, family, because gatekeeping is here. We're standing on lineage business now, and I'm talking to the babies. This is why we're doing what we're doing for the babies at home, for the babies who are not even born yet. Because I know when you come into this world, you're going to have folks like this who sit up here and play in your face and act as if, oh, Black Americans, they just be hating on the diaspora. We're not hating on anything. We're straightening. The days of them hijacking our culture and achievements for their own personal gain, while also turning around and spitting on us, is over with. Let's get back to the video.
Like, everybody is one. And I think the rest of the diaspora realized that. And
Okay.
the sooner America realizes it, like in its entirety, I know a lot of Americans, obviously, a lot of Black Americans understand this, but as soon as like Black Americans on TikTok understand this, the diaspora wars will be over. People
Cap, family. This is all cap. Okay, don't believe that this is all cap. Even remember, family, just last week, we had some foundational Black Americans who were showing love to Black Scottish people, Black people in Scotland. Okay, Scotland is in the UK. You dig? And they were paying and they were showing them love. They were like, hey, cousin, you know, there was Black Brits who came out here and they started making niche content, using that to tear down Black Americans, family. Let me show you a couple clips. This is what they were doing, because you got to see it to believe it. Literally, you had Black Americans going out here saying, hey, man, I didn't know there were Black Scottish people, speaking in FBA vernacular, African American vernacular. Okay? Because when we say we didn't know there were real Scottish people, we're saying, hey, man, I've never seen one. We don't hear from you. They don't talk about you. We know there's Black people around the world. But of course, Black Brits came out and they decided to make some more hating niche content, tearing down Black Americans. This is them.
Why am I waking up on TikTok to find out that Black Americans are only discovering that there are Black Scottish people? And they're having like a bonding moment with the Black Scottish people. Like they're a new fucking discovery. And they're like, oh, we didn't know you existed. And the wickedest thing that smacks it, yeah, is their first generation African and Caribbean. No, but apart from that, I'm actually loving that they're discovering that there are a load of other Black people around the world, okay? This was my dream, okay? Thank you for being locked in. When you're done with the Scottish, move on to the Black Irish next.
Okay, so this is them. They always find a way to try to gaslight, pretty much saying, oh, you Black Americans are so stupid. You're supposed to hear, here's another one.
That Black Americans are just finding out that they're actually Black Scottish people. Oh my God, yo, this FBA, whatever movement that's going on, this is crazy. Are you trying to act like as if Black people only exist in England? Like, they are first, second, even maybe third generation Africans that are in Scotland, Wales, Ireland. Like, it's not new. And then for you Black Americans, some of you Black Americans, to make such a big deal about it just shows how, like, you're stuck in your bubble. Whatever this ecosystem that you guys are basing, that you think the world revolves around y'all.
The world revolves. We think the world revolves around us, but we're sitting up here showing love to the Black Scots, and you're talking about us as usual.
I'm sorry, man. The rest of the world just looks and just laughs.
They laugh at
The rest of us Black Africans, Black Africa, whatever, we look at you guys and we just laugh. Because y'all can't just be this stupid. Some of y'all are just really stupid. And it's sad. It is so fucking sad.
All right. So again, so when she sits up here and starts talking about, oh, the moment y'all realize there's black people in other part of the world and we all won, the diaspora wars will stop. Stop capping. You're lying. These are black Brits. And I could have showed you 100 more videos, family. Oh, they just had a field day. Oh, look how dumb black Americans are. See, every time we give these folks a little clout, every time we acknowledge black people across the world, here y'all come trying to turn it into a diaspora war because that's what you love. So stop the cap. But of course, she's not going to make any videos calling out black Brits because that's her people. Because the real thing is to just trigger, gaslight, and make niche content based around hating on foundational black Americans. This is the thing. So understand, I want my babies to see that. Our FBA babies. This is why we're going hard body. This is why. It ain't no we starting a diaspora war. They start a diaspora war every time we say something they find something wrong with. But let's continue for the last part of the video, Lord.
Black Americans some grace and understand that they're operating from a different space. Give them grace.
It's just the gaslighting. Work with black Americans. They're dumb. They're stupid. They're operating from a different space.
And black Americans just understand that we're not trying to be few. We just want you to realize that we're all one with you. No one's exceptional. No one's better. We're all black people.
When it's time to benefit.
Geographically spaced out because of slavery and colonization.
Lord. We always won when it's time to benefit. When it's time for her to play them roles, we all won. But listen, man, that's today's video. I hope you enjoyed the breakdown, family. Comment below. I know this was a real slow cook. We were cooking some damn oxtails today. This was a long cook. Okay, a long cook. But listen, this your brother Chase. Sometimes we got to break it down like this, family. Sometimes we got to do a deep dive. We got to do deep analysis. I hope you stay for the whole video. Like the video. Comment down below. Subscribe to the channel. And hit that bell icon to get your notifications. Also, click that link in the bio. Go get my book, 30 Black Wall Streets the Main Street Media Never Told You About. Get you some true FBA history and understand how phenomenal of a people you are. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe the hype. You are an amazing people. My babies, you are the future. You're going to take what I'm doing even to the next level. And for the elders, thank you for helping me pay the way I do it for y'all as well. And for my warriors that are still in the game. My FBA queens, my FBA kings. Your brother's going to be right here by your side, fighting with you along the way. We're going to take it day by day, and we're going to continue to build. Until next time, family, y'all know what it is, man. Peace and black power. I'm out.